Have you ever thought that forgiveness could be something different from what we have been taught? We are often told that we must forgive in order to find peace, that forgiveness is a virtue to be cultivated, a key to freeing the heart from the weight of resentment. But what if I told you that forgiveness, as it is commonly understood, could be a trap? A trap that, instead of freeing us, ties us even more deeply to the experiences we wish to let go of? Let's take a step back and reflect on what it really means to forgive. Society has taught us that forgiveness is an act of magnanimity, an altruistic gesture that we offer to others to make up for a wrong suffered. But what happens when this gesture is performed without true awareness? When forgiveness becomes a mere conformism, an act of duty rather than an authentic expression of our inner being? Imagine a person who, out of politeness or fear of other people's judgment, says, "I forgive you," without having truly let go of the resentment, without having faced the pain that wound caused. That person, in reality, is still suffering, is still carrying the weight of that event in his heart. This is where forgiveness can turn into a lie, a mask that hides the truth, both from others and from ourselves. Abraham, a spiritual figure who speaks through Esther Hicks, offers an interesting perspective on forgiveness. He says that true forgiveness is not necessary when we are aligned with our true selves, with our inner well-being. According to Abraham, the act of forgiving comes from the assumption that someone has wronged us, that there has been damage that needs to be repaired. But in reality, every experience we have is a product of our vibrations, our point of attraction. Forgiveness, therefore, becomes irrelevant when we understand that no one can truly hurt us unless we ourselves allow it. This vision profoundly challenges social conventions. According to this perspective, continuing to forgive without a real internal transformation could make us remain trapped in the cycle of victim and executioner. We continue to project the responsibility for our suffering outside, without realizing that we are keeping alive the very energies we wish to push away. Now, to better understand this idea, let me tell you an ancient story full of wisdom, a story that helps us discover the true essence of forgiveness. In a faraway village, at the foot of the majestic mountains of India, lived a highly respected man. He was a successful merchant, a devoted father, deeply committed to ensuring the prosperity of his family. But as time passed, he began to worry more and more about his sons. These young men, instead of dedicating themselves to the family business, spent much of their time at the feet of a man considered by many to be an enlightened, the Buddha. This fact tormented the merchant. He was convinced that the Buddha was taking his children away from their true destiny, that he was undermining the future of his family. So, one day, with his heart full of anger, he decided to confront the Buddha. Arriving at the place where the Buddha taught, he found him sitting in meditation, with his eyes half closed and a serene smile on his lips. This calm attitude only inflamed his resentment even more. Blinded by anger, the merchant approached and spat in the Buddha's face. The Buddha's disciples, witnessing the insult, stood up ready to defend their master. But the Buddha, unperturbed, remained calm, welcoming the insult with the same peaceful smile as before. An atmosphere of calm enveloped the place, as if time had stopped. The merchant, seeing the Buddha's reaction, felt something change inside him. His anger dissolved, giving way to a deep sense of impotence and remorse. In the days that followed, the image of the Buddha accepting his insult with serenity continued to haunt the merchant. He could not sleep, haunted by feelings of guilt and remorse for his gesture. Finally, he decided to return to the Buddha, this time not with anger, but with humility and repentance. Falling at his feet, he begged forgiveness. "Forgive me, great master. My ignorance has blinded me. I have thought only of my life and the prosperity of my family, and I have not seen the truth that you teach." The Buddha, with his usual calmness, shook his head and replied, "I cannot forgive you, because there is nothing to forgive. You have done nothing wrong to me. These words deeply surprised the merchant. How could the Buddha say that there was nothing to forgive? That answer hid a profound truth. In the Buddha's vision, there had never been a judgment, no offense taken to heart. For him, the merchant's action had not affected his essence, his state of inner peace. He saw beyond the gesture, beyond the past and the present, perceiving the pure essence of each individual, beyond actions and words. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. Forgiveness is not simply an act of mercy, but an internal process of compassion and liberation. True forgiveness requires no words, no effort. It is an act of liberation that happens naturally when we stop holding on to the past and begin to see people and situations with new eyes. But how can we apply this wisdom in our daily lives? How can we avoid falling into the trap of unconscious forgiveness? The answer may be simpler than we think. We must become conscious observers of our emotions, of our reactions. Before forgiving, let's ask ourselves if we are truly ready to do so. Let's ask ourselves if we are using forgiveness as an excuse to avoid dealing with the pain we carry inside. Meditation, as a daily practice, can help us enormously in this process. By meditating, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, without trying to change or repress them. When we are able to do this, we begin to see forgiveness not as a duty, but as a natural consequence of our inner growth. Forgiving then becomes an act of liberation, a spontaneous letting go that requires no effort or self-deception. It is not about forgiving because you have to, but because we have understood that there is nothing to forgive, that every experience has been an opportunity for growth, for personal evolution. The next time you feel compelled to forgive someone, stop for a moment and think, am I forgiving because I feel truly free or because I think I have to? Am I conforming to an idea of forgiveness that doesn't truly reflect my inner state? Allow yourself to experience forgiveness as a natural process, which emerges from the heart, and not from the mind. Let go of the idea that forgiving means being magnanimous or superior. Instead, embrace the idea that forgiving, in its deepest sense, simply means freeing ourselves, not from others, but from the chains we have built around our own hearts. Ultimately, authentic forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It is a door that opens to a new understanding of who we truly are, beyond our wounds and traumas. It is the key to a life lived fully and authentically. I invite you to bring this reflection into your life, to practice true forgiveness with awareness and love towards yourself. If you found this reflection useful, I invite you to subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of spiritual exploration together. Thanks for following me, and see you soon.